2026, four numbers that will forever change the history of soccer. But if you think you know what's coming, brace yourself, because this World Cup is going to break every single rule. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 10 changes that will transform this tournament into the most epic, controversial, and unpredictable of all time. And at the end, a revelation about Brazil that will blow your mind. So hit play, because there's no turning back. Let's go. Fact number 1, and this one already breaks everything. For the first time in history, 48 national teams will compete in the World Cup. That's right, 48. 50% more than what you're used to. In 2017, FIFA made this historic decision. The goal? Make the tournament more inclusive, give a chance to those countries that were always left out, watching from home, dreaming of an opportunity. And now comes the interesting part. With more spots, countries from Africa, Asia, Central America, nations that never even dared to dream of a World Cup now have real chances. More games, more stories, more upsets. The unpredictable just multiplied by 100. And the soccer giants? Well, they're going to have to prepare because the game has changed. Fact number 2, and this one is simply insane. 3 countries, 1 cup, United States, Mexico, Canada. For the first time in history, 3 nations will jointly host the biggest event on the planet. 16 cities, 3 different time zones, opposite climates, distinct cultures. Mexico, veteran of 1970 and 1986, when Pelé and Maradona made history. The United States, which hosted the tournament in 1994. And Canada, an absolute newcomer in the role of host. But here comes the real challenge. The distance between some venues can reach over 3,000 kilometers. It's literally like going from Lisbon to Moscow. Teams will need to deal with jet lag, extreme climate adaptation, and logistics that have never been required before. And for the fans, imagine planning a trip to see your team in 3 different countries. You'll need a passport, visas, and organization worthy of a travel agency. But it'll be worth every second. Fact number 3, MetLife Stadium in New Jersey will be the largest stadium of the World Cup, 82,500 people. To give you an idea, it's almost a packed Maracanã. This colossus of American football will transform into the temple of world soccer. Decisive games will happen here. The atmosphere will be absolutely electric. If Brazil plays in this stadium, prepare your heart. And who knows, maybe the 6th title won't happen right there. Fact number 4, and this one will completely mess up your mental calendar. The World Cup will take place in November and December. That's right. Forget that mid-year World Cup vibe with school holidays and winter breaks. Now it's Christmas World Cup, New Year's Eve World Cup. FIFA implemented this change for the first time in Qatar 2022 because of the extreme heat. And in 2026, even being in countries with milder climates, the idea is to keep athletes in ideal playing conditions. But here's the problem. Teams will be in the middle of national and European competitions. Players will be in intense rhythm, which can be good for performance, but also drastically increases the risk of injuries. And there's more. You'll have to choose between watching the games or attending Christmas dinner. Good luck explaining that to the family. Fact number 5. Mandatory VAR in all games, 0 exceptions. Remember Maradona's hand of God goal, that non-existent offside, that stolen penalty that changed the course of an entire World Cup? It's over. With VAR in 100% of matches, there's no more room for gross errors. FIFA is investing heavily in technology. Besides traditional VAR, we'll have automatic goal line detection, smart sensors in the ball, and even artificial intelligence analyzing offsides in milliseconds. But here's the question nobody wants to ask. Will this take away the magic of soccer, that historic controversy that makes us argue at the bar for 20 years? Leave your opinion in the comments. Are you for or against absolute VAR? Fact number 6. More countries than ever will have representation in the World Cup. With 48 teams, we'll see nations that have never before stepped foot in a World Cup. Emerging soccer countries, teams with completely exotic playing styles. And this is beautiful for the sport. Imagine an unknown African team facing Germany in the group stage, or an Asian team surprising Argentina in the round of 16. The traditional giants will feel the impact. Because these smaller teams don't have historical pressure, they don't carry the weight of past generations. They'll enter to play freely, without fear of making mistakes. And that's extremely dangerous for those used to dominating. Fact number 7. Mexico will become the country that has hosted the most World Cups in history, 3 times, 1970, 1986, and now 2026. And look at the tradition. In 1970, Pelé's Brazil won the 3rd championship and the Jules Rimet Trophy definitively. In 1986, Maradona starred in the most controversial game of all time against England. And in 2026, the iconic Azteca Stadium will host games again. The altitude of over 2,000 meters, the deafening Mexican crowd, the heat from the stands. It's going to be a cauldron of emotions. Fact number 8, and this one will give you goosebumps. The pressure on Brazil has never been so absurd. 5-time champions, more chances of qualification with 48 teams, gigantic expectations after years of disappointment. But there's a detail nobody is talking about. More teams also means more dangerous opponents. Smaller teams playing without pressure, without fear, without history to protect. And Brazil will be the main target of all these potential underdogs. Remember 2014? Remember the 7-1? Yeah. Pressure can be an ally or a deadly enemy. Brazil has talent to spare. Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, a new generation of stars emerging. But talent without winning mentality doesn't win World Cups. And the national team will need to prove they've learned from past mistakes. The 6th title has never been so close. And at the same time, it's never been so risky. Fact number 9. Logistics will be the biggest operational challenge in World Cup history. 16 cities, 3 countries, millions of fans in constant movement. How to guarantee efficient transportation between venues. How to deal with overloaded airports. How will teams manage intercontinental trips in the middle of a competition? FIFA is developing an integrated transport system, using chartered planes, high-speed trains where possible, and a complex road network. But even so, it will be an unprecedented test. For fans, the tip is to plan months in advance. Hotels, flights, tickets, everything will sell out quickly, and those who leave it to the last minute might miss out on the biggest soccer party. Fact number 10. The economic impact of this World Cup will be colossal. It's estimated that the event could move tens of billions of dollars. It's not just soccer, it's mass tourism, construction and renovation of stadiums, new hotels, transportation infrastructure, generation of millions of temporary and permanent jobs. The 3 host countries will reap the economic benefits for years. But there's also the other side of the coin. Critics point out that this World Cup could increase inequality in soccer. Rich countries will have all the ideal conditions, while poorer teams may face difficulties in preparation and logistics. Will everyone compete on equal terms, or will money speak louder once again? The 2026 World Cup promises to be the most grandiose sporting event we've ever witnessed. 48 teams, 3 countries, cutting-edge technology, unprecedented challenges. It will be a World Cup for the history books, to be told to future generations, and you'll be there, watching it all unfold. Now tell me, which of these facts shocked you the most? Which underdog team do you think will surprise in 2026? And Brazil? Will it be the 6th title or another disappointment? Leave everything in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. because there's a lot more content about the 2026 World Cup coming. Thanks, and see you in the next video.